Welcome to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Marisol Fernandez on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. We're here every Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon to highlight local entrepreneurs and small business owners to learn how they succeed to build their businesses from the ground up. What were their challenges and what are their victories? The purpose of the show is to put a voice to local business owners. So when you contact them through services, you have an idea of who you are talking to and what they are about. When you buy from one of our guests, you are buying local. Marisol, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Justin?
I'm doing good. And then we have Celeste Zupancic in studio. She is our title sponsor for the month. Celeste, how you doing?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
She can be reached at 209-489-7312, or you can email her at celeste@sellsyourhomes.com. Thank you, Celeste. So this is Older Americans Month. Later on, we have Sharon coming in to talk about insurance and Medicare, things that you maybe have to think about, when you retire, and I'm going to be turning 50 this year. So it's something I'm starting to get those mailers now in the mail, for AARP and all that fun stuff. So it's and then I went to Taco Bell on my way to Woodleaf, California, which is out in the middle of nowhere. And I just placed my order and the lady gave me a senior discount, so I was just kind of disheartened a little bit.
Oh, no.
No, you ladies look really young, so, you probably don't have that problem like I do. So.
Oh, I do. Absolutely. Yes. I'm 50 plus.
Yeah, but you don't look 50 plus. You look younger.
Well, thank you, Justin.
Yeah.
Somehow in the conversations, I went from Mrs. to Miss.
Oh, really?
I don't know when that happened.
Oh, okay. Wow. So, Marisol, health-wise, older Americans, like what do they have to look at? I'll start with you first.
Well, one of the things with the human body as we get older is that saying, you don't use it, you lose it, really starts to show up. And a person's ability to be independent becomes challenging. Mm-hmm. And the longevity then goes downhill because a person isn't able to be independent. That puts a lot of depression on them. So just getting people to understand, to move their body, what it takes to continue to live, continue to stimulate the body to maintain muscle mass and bone density. Getting the body to move and eat right, teaching people that those things kind of change as our life changes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I missed being in my 20s and, my teens and being able to eat what I want and just burn it off, and it's not like that now. So
yeah, things change. Our nutrition changes throughout our life, and I think that people only know one way and they keep continuing that way, and it catches up with us. And so to maintain an independent life, you got to feed your body, you got to move your body. You got to understand your body's language. What are these aches and pains really coming from? But then it's kind of a little sad because we don't get a lot of help through the medical industry.
Yeah. So right now, I threw my back out over the weekend. I'm not sure what I did. But I think you're telling me off the air that exercise wouldn't help that.
Exercise would definitely help that. One of the things...
It's my way of trying to get out of it. So.
One of the things is I know you. I know what you do. I know what your jobs are. And a lot of your jobs require you to be sitting. You're doing the show. You're in a truck. So your body starts conforming to a chair, which then doesn't necessarily continue to strengthen the lower back and the glutes, these really important areas that create stability in the body. Mm-hmm. And then we start having these aches and pains, right? Then we just think, I just need a massage or I need to go to the chiropractor. But what people don't understand is that the body has layers. If you think about it, your skeletal system is to create shape of your body. And then you have muscles on top of that. Those muscles are kind of like the strings that pull a puppet. Your muscles are moving that skeletal system. When you go to a chiropractor, they're only adjusting the alignment of your skeletal system. So if your muscles are out of whack because one is tight and the other one is weak, it starts pulling you out of alignment and you stay out of that. Yeah. You stay out of alignment. And so it's important to stimulate muscle mass, work out. And working out doesn't mean doing a boot camp or running a marathon. Working out can be as easy as like, hey, make sure that you're walking. How many steps are you getting in a day? Are you doing some resistance training? Are you lifting some weights? It's really important.
Okay. So you're listening to Small Business with Justin Duncan and Marisol Fernandez on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. And then we also have Celeste Zupancic in studio. She is our title sponsor for the month. She can be reached at 209-489-7312, or you can email her at celeste@sellsyourhomes.com. By the way, if you're wondering where Jeanette is with her daughter in Montana because she's about to become a grandmother. So she will be back in a couple weeks. So just in case you're wondering, that's where Jeanette is right now. So my back is out of whack, like I said. I don't know what I did. It just kind of, I worked. Like you said, I'm in a sedentary position, and I haven't really had a back problem in a while.
And a lot of times it isn't that you did something specific. It's just that part of your body is talking to you right now. It's telling you, hey, I'm tired. So if you think about our muscles are supposed to work together like a team. Mm-hmm. When you have part of the team not doing the work, part of that team is going to start complaining.
Yeah.
And that complaining is usually the pain of saying, hey, I'm really tired of being the one to support this system. I'm not getting any help. Mm-hmm. And that's where pain is an indicator of something needing to be stimulated. Doesn't necessarily mean that you did something. And that's the thing is that as we get older, we wake up and we're like, oh my God, I am getting older. I woke up and I hurt myself in my sleep.
Well, and I don't know if I slept wrong or what, but I just remember getting up yesterday and it's just been, like I haven't felt this bad in a while, as far as.
Well, you gotta stimulate that muscle. You gotta get stronger so that things are in alignment. Mm-hmm. If you think about your vehicle, if you have your tires out of alignment, doesn't it pull you to one side? And then if you have a car that's constantly pulling you to the right, doesn't it wear the tires out differently?
It does.
So that's the same thing with the body. You have to have everything working together. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, there's part of your body that's overworking, and then there's the pains that we don't understand where they're coming from. And again, it's you have to contract the muscle. The muscle is designed to contract and extend. And when you stop doing that, you stop creating strength and stability in that area. You got muscles that are on vacation when they should be working.
Yeah. I think my muscles are on unemployment right now. So I was told a long time ago, like it's like if one part of your body is hurting, it's usually like with my back, it's like the other side.
Yes, it is. So our muscles our body's an amazing machine. Anytime you have one muscle and you squeeze the opposite muscle's forced to relax. So for example, if you think of your hip area, we all know where our glutes are, right? It's our bottom. So if you squeeze those muscles, the tendons in front of your hips actually are forced to relax. So again, it's that whole contraction and extension. But if you don't ever do those things, some things you shorten them. Mm-hmm. You prevent them from having the flexibility.
Yeah. Well, Celeste, you're getting coach too right now, huh?
I am. Yes,
you're learning a lot.
Yep, absolutely. I work with Madi too on flexibility and mobility and things like that. Like I am in the 50+ community, so I have to think about those things.
Yeah, and it's just. I remember being in school and like PE was a requirement, and I missed that actually, just having that hour just to kind of, I missed that. I missed my childhood actually because, you'd have PE and then you get home and, your mom would say, go play outside, Yeah. I'm part of that generation where like, you stayed out until the street lights came on and, everybody knew where everybody's kid was at. And, you just kind of, as you get older,
we become more sedentary. Unfortunately, as soon as we get out of high school, we're put into classrooms, college, right?
Yeah.
Now you're sitting down for multiple hours, multiple days out of the week. And then you go from college to now a career that's usually in front of a desk or a computer. And then you're in that position. I went to vacation last month and it's so easier when you don't have anything distracting you, right? You're able to wake up refreshed. Mm-hmm. Then, you're more excited to go on a walk because it's at your time. You're not in a hurry. And then, you're more excited to make your own food because, again, you're not in a hurry.
Yeah.
So it's learning how to create a balance. It is difficult, but it's more difficult to be unhealthy.
So we're going to bring in Sharon Care next. She's going to talk about the insurance part, what maybe people need to prepare for as they retire. They're probably getting those mailers right now. So when we come back, we have Sharon Care coming into the studio. And then we also have Celeste Zupancic in the studio. She is our title sponsor for the month. She can be reached at 209-489-7312, or you can email her at celeste@sellsyourhomes.com. You're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Marisol Fernandez on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Stay with us. This is Justin Duncan from the Small Business Voice. And what does every small business need? A website. That's why the Small Business Voice used Sisbro Innovation to build its website. If you're a small business owner looking to grow your online presence, attract more customers, and actually see results, then you need to connect with Sisbro Innovation. They've been helping businesses thrive for over 10 years, offering affordable websites, SEO, Google Ads, social media marketing, and reputation management, all this without breaking the bank. They were also voted Best of 209 for digital marketing in 2024 as well. So if you're ready to take your business to the next level, reach out to Sisbro Innovation today and see what they can do for you. And tell them that Justin from the Small Business Voice sent you. Visit sisbroinnovation.com or call them at 1-800-291-9102. Connecting local businesses with local families. Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Reach out to us for more information about our featured guests by texting 209-222-8846, or you can always email me at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. So I'm back with Marisol, I'm back with Celeste, and we have Sharon Care in studio. Sharon, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So Sharon, I actually explained to me. So it says Sharon with Health Markets. Is Health Markets your business, or are you a representative of Health Markets?
Yes, Health Markets is a national marketing company.
Okay.
And what we do is we are licensed insurance agents. We're one of the largest agencies in the United States. And it's like Health Markets. So you go to the market to buy multiple things. You can come to me, and I can show you multiple products that will best take care of you and your needs, fit your budget, make sure you've got your doctors and all that. So okay. I do everything from birth to when you leave the earth.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So my dad is actually a client of yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the things you help my dad with? My dad's going to love hearing this, and I say that sarcastically. But what do you help my dad with?
Yeah, so one of my biggest, my love is to help people with Medicare.
Okay.
Because when we're working, we just have employer insurance. And then when you go into Medicare, which generally starts when you're 65 years old, mm-hmm. could be earlier if you're disabled, but generally it's 65. So it's a whole paradigm shift in your insurance and what your options are. And the different networks, we like to think it's all easy, but it is not very easy mm-hmm. As far as making sure that you have the right plan. So there are so many options with Medicare. Okay. So there are very simple ones and very complicated.
And that's why people would need to contact you.
Correct. And I'm a market, so when you come and sit down with me, I am not forced to show you. If you called Humana mm-hmm. and say, oh, I just saw your commercial, they will only show you Humana.
Yeah.
I will come and I will show you Humana and United Healthcare and Alignment and, all the different carriers that are out there for you. So you can really make an informed decision. And then also have my input as far as helping you make that informed decision, because it's pretty big. Once you've stopped working, mm-hmm. your income stops, so you don't want to make an error because your income is now level.
Yeah.
So that's what I love to help do. And there's so many things to your Medicare plan.
Okay,
Absolutely.
So. What kind of budget would people have? Do you work with any budget, I guess is what I'm trying to ask you. Is it like if somebody has like the least amount of Social Security, mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And then I help connect them to the different organizations and, with the county or with the state or with Social Security. So your income definitely comes into play in every aspect of our lives. But, some people want the very best, but their income isn't going to provide that for them. So I make sure that I explain to them what their options are there.
Okay.
So.
And what are some of the myths out there like that people like? So like I was telling you on the break, like we have we have a lot of experts at work. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have all sorts of experts. It's amazing that they're truck drivers. Because you get in that break room and you just find an expert on everything. You ask a question, you'll find it. So what are some of the myths out there?
Well, one of the big things I get my phone calls from is, can I really get $6,000 a year of free groceries? Well, first of all, that's a commercial, and they're out there fishing.
Okay.
And they're out there to get you to call them in. Because when you're on Medicare, when you're 65, you are now a protected class in the United States.
Okay.
And so, if you do something to take advantage of a senior, the penalty is much higher. So they put out these advertisements that make people call in.
Yeah.
And now once you have called in, because actually I, as an agent, if you told me your neighbor is turning 65, I am not allowed to call that person at all by law.
Okay. All right.
They would have to call me. So that's why those advertisements are, kind of tickle their ears and make sure they go, oh, I'm going to call. So now they've got them on the hook.
Yeah.
And they can,
they got you.
They got you. Yeah, they got you. So, and it is marketing. So not to say that that's bad, but you don't really know who you're talking to.
Yeah, well, and people don't have your best interest in mind sometime either. Like they're looking at the bottom dollar, So like you said, they're throwing out that, they're casting
that hook.
Yeah,
that
hook.
Yep. And there are there plans that give you $6,000 a year in groceries? Yes.
Ooh.
And that is more for people that have a very low income.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And, so some people go, well, I want that plan. I said, well, then get rid of all your money. And, so it is a very good benefit for people that need that.
That's good.
So
that's good to know, actually.
Yeah, there are some very nice plans out
Sharon,
there.
is there a particular threshold of income that would enable someone to qualify for a program like that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Yes. And often, when I meet with clients, and especially in the state of California, they've kind of raised some of the levels of qualifications. And so I help people, just answer those questions and find out if it is to their interest to apply.
All right. So you're listening to The Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Marisol Fernandez on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. We have Sharon Care in studio. If you have questions with Sharon Care, you can call her at 209-752-0171. Or you can email her at sharon.care@healthmarkets.com. And then we also have Celeste Zupancic in studio. She is our title sponsor for the month. She can be reached at 209-489-7312. Or you can email her at celeste@sellsyourhomes.com.
All right. So, Sharon, since this month is about senior longevity and health, I have a question as a gym owner. My gym's name is Rooted Movement, and we're located in Modesto. And I love working with seniors. I've learned so much from them. They just fill my cup. So 65% of my clientele is between the ages of 45 and 93. So my question is for you, can you explain how some health insurance plans actually help cover the cost of gym memberships for seniors?
Yeah, so some plans include gym memberships. I am very proactive to tell my clients to really delve into that and utilize that benefit. It is at no cost to you. And I'm a firm believer, you sit down, your body's going to start dying quicker.
Yes.
So it is really important to, stay active. I just came from vacation and two of my friends, they've kind of laid it down. And they couldn't, we were like going places while we were visiting and they hadn't done anything in months,
Wow.
and I was like, gosh, you could just go to this park and just even sit here and get some sunshine. It would be so much better than sitting in your lovely home that really just destroys you, I believe.
Yeah. I'm after Marisol all the time for just being sedentary. So
yeah, it's and I think our, systems, turning on the TV and
technology has made things actually too easy for us, and we have lost the ability to move. For example, looking in our rearview mirrors, we used to have to turn our head over our shoulders, which actually prevented some neck pain. And now we have backup cameras, and people don't even have to turn their heads. So it's simple things like that, or somebody having the printer right next to their desk, and now they don't have to walk across the room to the fax machine. Technology has become a really big problem. So I'm familiar. I know that one of the most popular programs is Silver Sneakers, but my gym actually takes Ash Fitness and Active and Fit. And those are not two programs that are very popular. And they actually pay 85% of my members' memberships. Are you familiar with those programs?
I am not. Ash, I am. But that is more in the specialty of chiropractic and acupuncture and some more holistic type of benefits. I did not know that Ash had gym memberships in there.
It's really cool because I think that Silver Sneakers is the only thing that's really pushed out there, but people need to know that there's a lot of other programs that will cover a lot more for you to go to a specialty gym, which is really amazing. It is an extra fee, but one of my clients is only paying $75 on top of their insurance, and it is covering 85% of their gym membership. So that's really cool because they're getting some customized movements. But at that time of your life, you're trying to make your funds stretch. The economy is constantly going up and down. Some people lose a lot of money from one year to the next. So, you don't know how long we're going to live. We hope to live a long time. So I understand that we have to be smart about our expenses, but I think it's important people to know that they have to just ask these questions, right? Hey, I want to meet with somebody like Sharon so that I can say, I want to move. I want to have energy. And then you'll be able to say, hey, there's these programs for you. So it's like creating a special recipe for them, right? That's what you do.
Exactly. And getting to know each individual plan. Each individual plan does have its own nuance. Silver Sneakers, yes, is a very common one, but there are different gym memberships, and they include different gyms. So, and that is part of my sit down with my client and see if you do go to a gym, then I may match your plan with one that covers that gym membership.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
You're listening to Sharing Care on the Small Business Voice with Justin Duggan and Marisol Fernandez on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. If you have questions with Sharing Care, you can call her at 209-752-0171, or you can email her at sharon.care@healthmarkets.com. And then we also have Celeste Zupancic in studio. She is our title sponsor for the month. She can be reached at 209-489-7312. Or you can email her at celeste@sellsyourhomes.com. Stay with us.
This business tip is brought to you by Sisbro Innovation. Hi, this is Catherine Ramos, and today we're talking about digital storefronts. In a modern era, a business website isn't just a supplementary element. It is your digital storefront. When your website is optimized, it loads quickly, looks professional, and it is mobile friendly. If visitors experience slow load times or can't easily find what they're looking for, they'll more than likely leave and turn to your competitor. Sisbro Innovation, where we help local businesses connect with local families. For more information on this tip, check out our blog at sisbroinnovation.com. That's Sisbro, SISBRO, innovation.com.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Reach out to us for more information about our featured guests by texting 209-222-8846, or you can always email me at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. So we have Sharon Care in studio. She works with Health Markets. She can be reached at 209-752-0171, or you can email her at sharon.care@healthmarkets.com. And then we also have our title sponsor in studio, Celeste Zupancic. She's a realtor with HomeSmart PB and Associates. She can be reached at 209-489-7312, or you can email her at Celeste at sellsyourhomes, all plural, sellsyourhomes.com. So, Celeste, thank you for being our title sponsor for the month.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And Sharon, so you're kind of educating us, but really quick, like, people can call you, but one time I went into Walgreens over on Coffee and Sylvan, and you're there every Tuesday, right?
I am there every Tuesday.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So can you tell me some of the places you actually have a station at certain days?
So I'm licensed all over the state of California, but I just found that during open enrollment, I would be offered to sit in a pharmacy, and it was Walgreens, and it was just for a few weeks. And I went to the manager and said, "Hey, can I just be here every Tuesday?
Okay.
All year long, and just answer questions. I don't sell anything. It's really just to answer questions, because a lot of people it's a mystery about their insurance, or they get upset. They go to the pharmacy and their drugs aren't ready. And those drugs never even got authorized to be ready. So there's some things, proactive things that I can help people understand about their insurance. And, so, I just feel like it's a community service. And today there is 4,800 people a day for the next 18 months that are turning 65. So there is a great need for information out there. Many of us are still working. So it's a real big decision. Do I still work and keep my employer insurance? And often that is a yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's no, it's better to go on to Medicare. So everyone is very individual. And so I love to get people when they're like 63 and sit down and talk to them and help them make a decision about what their future is going to be. Especially if they have a younger spouse. There's just lots of things that go into making that decision. Do I go on Medicare now, or do I wait a little bit later?
Okay.
Sharon, say a particular client they're on Kaiser and they're turning 65 and they're going to go on Medicare. What does that do to my doctors if I'm on Kaiser?
If you're on Kaiser, it really doesn't do anything, but your health plan will change to Kaiser's what's called Senior Advantage.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know that's a big concern. If I've been with the same doctor for 5 or 6 years, they know me. I feel like I'm getting great care.
Right.
And now at 65, I'm going to have to make this big shift.
That's correct. And when you turn 65, going on Medicare, it is a highly penalized situation if you don't do things on their timeline. No excuses. So you have a certain timeline to get your Medicare straight in your head on what you're going to do. So that's why it's good to meet earlier, because you actually have 3 months before you turn 65 to make sure that you have applied for Medicare. You have the month of 65. And then you have 3 months later. So you have a total of 7 months to make sure it gets right. And I have met with people 2 years later. Oh, I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a penalty in that.
And now there's a penalty.
There's a penalty in that.
And that penalty will not go away unless you don't have an income.
Okay.
But if you have a high income, so there's lots of penalties with Medicare.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of our elderly people out there that are on a variety of medications. So I have a question. Can you explain how prescription coverages work for seniors, and what mistakes can lead to higher costs?
Looking at TV and getting the ones that are on TV because they have just spent millions of dollars.
And they have
phishing you.
They have the dance number.
Yeah, and then they are often multiple medications binded to be one, so you don't have to take 3 pills. But your drug plan, all drug plans are, they're managed. They have a high responsibility to their members to make sure that it's called step therapy. So if you say you want a particular prescription, but there's generics involved, they're going to ask you to do the generics first to save you money, to save them money. And so that's part of the drug plan.
So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Marisol Fernandez on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. And we are here with Sharon Kerr of Health Markets. She can be reached at 209-752-0171. And she can be emailed at sharon.care@healthmarkets.com. We have Celeste Zupancic in studio from HomeSmart PV and Associates. She can be reached at 209-489-7312. And you can email her at celeste@cellularhomes.com. So just to clarify, Celeste doesn't know anything about health markets. So, if you're looking for health markets, call Sharon. But I know Celeste knows how to get a hold of Sharon in case that happens. So,
but if you need somebody to sell your house, that's your girl.
There you go. Yeah. I was kind of curious about medications myself because you hear about a lot of it not being like covered. I've had friends that passed away because they couldn't get a medication because it was too expensive.
Right. Yeah. Right. Medications can be very expensive. This year, the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 really changed some things. Not as far as the price of the drugs, but the price that a Medicare beneficiary would need to spend on that drug. Okay. And I hear yesterday that that may be impacted even more.
I was going to bring that up because I did hear that because I've taken a break from politics, but sometimes you can't even take a break. Right. It's always there. But I did hear that basically we were paying more. The United States was paying more for their medications,
absolutely,
than all these other countries, and
absolutely.
Basically, saying that it's not fair that we're doing that. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
So technically, I don't know a whole lot about it.
Okay.
I know in the 90s, NAFTA was a big trade thing. And so a lot of our drugs that are made here are then sold to other countries. And so many of my clients that have those high-end drugs, they go to Mexico and they can get that drug. And
very easy.
That's not safe because there's not those controls. And actually, I have a family member that is, takes care of those bad people. And many of those are fake drugs that come in. So you think you're getting the real thing. And then, of course, Canada. And it is against the law to do that. Yeah. But it is done on a daily basis because let's face it, it's your bottom dollar. And if you want a drug that's going to be managing, because I'm not anti-drug, sometimes I'm amazed how many, do you even have time to eat?
Because of all the medications that they're taking.
It could take me an hour just to write them down.
Well, it's really sad. A lot of the medical professionals do not communicate. So a lot of people are actually taking medication that is counterbalancing each other and cutting each other out. And it's just really sad. We need to have a better system of communication. So I had another question. Are there any programs out there that reward a senior for being healthy and not having to be on medication? Like, is there a different type of insurance program that says, hey, this is a little bit, if you can show blood work or if you can show this, your rate is a little bit cheaper, that might be an incentive for seniors or anybody of age to get out there and move?
I'm sure that's legally they can't be touching, what a doctor says, because a doctor is a highly trained professional. And honestly, I have seen many clients that do take a medication and they are not living in bed. They are actually alive. So there's some great things about medication. And yes, the gym memberships. So some of them have healthy rewards. If you walk, I know my particular Medicare plan, I walk 3 miles every morning. No excuses.
Oh, okay.
And I got a dog to make sure I did it. And they tried to get me a little dog. And I said, that dog doesn't need to be walking. I need that big dog. He has to walk. Yeah. His life depends on it. So our life depends on each other now.
Well, that's good.
just being, that taking that initiative and, just kind of going with it. But yeah, so I do get rewards.
Good.
For doing that,
Good.
for going and having an exam, a healthy exam to make sure your labs are good. Because if you wait, then something bad could be going on in your body, and now it's a bigger problem.
Yes, it's very important.
We cannot ignore.
It's very important to be proactive, not reactive, and we tend to live in a society that's reactive versus proactive.
Correct.
So as adults, it's our responsibility to go out there and seek this information and meet with Sharon.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So really quick, we have about 30 seconds left. So you go to Walgreens on Tuesday.
Walgreens on Tuesday from 10 to 2.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
that's Walgreens, 3500 Coffee Road in Modesto. So not all Walgreens, because that would be impossible.
Yeah.
That would be a God thing. But 3500 Coffee Road from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Tuesday.
All right.
That's right there by the Veteran Services.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
So
Veteran
absolutely
Center.
right there by the Veteran Services.
All right. So if you need to get a hold of Sharon Care, you can call her at 209-752-0171, or you can email her at sharon.care@healthmarkets.com. You're listening to The Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Marisol Fernandez on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Marisol Fernandez, your certified nutrition coach and co-owner of Rooted Movement. Today, let's talk about how to balance your plate. Fill half of your plate with colorful veggies, a quarter with lean protein, and a quarter with whole grains. This simple formula keeps meals balanced and satisfying. At Rooted Movement, we combine practical nutrition advice with movement to help you reach your health and fitness goals. We're located in the heart of downtown Modesto. So visit us today at rootedmovementmodesto.com or follow us on Instagram and Facebook to start your journey today.
Welcome back to The Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Marisol Fernandez on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Reach out to us for more information about our featured guests by texting 209-222-8846, or you can always email me at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. And then we have Celeste Zupancic in the studio. She is our title sponsor for the month. Celeste, how you doing?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
She can be reached at 209-489-7312, or you can email her at celeste@sellsyourhomes.com. The Community Corner is proudly sponsored by Lightspeed Graphics, a creative media agency specializing in video and animation. To get in touch with owner Kurt Gonzalez, simply text him at 209-617-2606 or visit his website at lightspeedgraphics.com. We just had Sharon Care in studio. She was kind of educating us on the different products out there. I think we asked a lot of questions, but I'm sure there's other people out there that have questions also. So I would just say you can call her or email her directly at 209-752-0171, or you can email her at sharon.care@healthmarkets.com.
I found it astonishing that if you call on some of these phishing ads that you could, end up falling victim to, a very predatory situation where it would be a much easier phone call to call Sharon Care.
Yeah.
And, kind of get much more thorough representation, so to speak.
Well, when I'll put it this way, because if you're in a desperate situation or you're just in a position where you don't care don't care. Let me say that if you're in a position where you don't know who to call. So these commercials that play on the radio or on TV,
they seem very appealing.
Yeah, they seem very appealing, but it has nothing to do with the product that like they're
right.
phishing. So, this product costs $200 a month, and then come to find out they can't afford it. Like, we have these other products, and they're not getting the service they wanted.
They're getting something totally different.
Yeah, and they might not even want that service, but now they're being sold, that product. So,
and really, 64 is the age probably that you should start looking into some of these different, services and options, so that you don't have a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And discovering a new insurance can be very stressful. So, why not do it sooner rather than later and make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to be successful in your senior years.
Yeah. And I think it's so for me when I remember hearing about how insurance was a problem like when I was younger. Well, I started working at 19. I had insurance right away and I didn't really understand, and I had that as a crutch. So over the years, I think the insurance has gone down to where before, like when I started having insurance in the 90s, if you had insurance, it pretty much covered everything. I remember paying like a copay of $100 when both my kids were born. Going to the doctor was like a $10 copay, but as we got into the 2000s, then you had like these different plans where a lot of companies were taking on these 80-20 plans. And now you're responsible for 20% and it doesn't even cover a lot. And people, they're not educated on the insurance process. So I think when they go, when they get to that age of 64 and they don't even know where to start, and I think that's a huge problem. Like people they don't know, they're just told, and they just kind of roll with the punches and not really being educated. Like once you know something and you have an idea, like, how it works, and then you can kind of make a really sound judgment. But
knowledge is power.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was my little tirade, I guess, or my little
your
tangent.
rant.
Yeah, my rant. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. So.
And then there's also the reminder of why it's important to take care of your body at a young age so that you can maybe later on have the choice of choosing a different insurance that is going to cost you less over the year because you're not going to go to the doctor as often. So, like I have Kaiser, there's certain programs that are more ideal and they say, well, do you go to the doctor very often? And if you don't, well, this packet right here is better for you and actually is a little less.
Yeah.
And then there's people that are like, no, I'm probably going to need all of these doctor's appointments coming up. We need to stop and evaluate what we are just saying there. We're justifying being sick versus, hey, I only have one body. I can't replace it. I got to maintain it. Just like we do our vehicles, we go to these oil checks and our tire rotations, but yet people aren't going to the gym.
Funny you make that analogy because, as soon as that light pops up on my car,
right?
I'm headed to the next, quick lube or getting my tires rotated. But how long and how many conversations have you and I had about mobility and nutrition and things like that? Sometimes, you got to beat me over the head with a stick, but man, when that light pops up on my car, I'm headed for the next quick lube.
But then we also, why do we run to the quick lube? Because we don't want $1,000 maintenance bill just because we didn't pay attention to that oil change. But yet we are constantly, everyone knows, I have never met a person that says, I choose to be unhealthy. Nobody,
No.
right? But it's lack of knowledge and it's not understanding. Also, people, when they don't have the motivation or the energy, maybe starting with getting more energy, right? Easy thing, add a few protein drinks to your day.
Or more water,
or more
hydration,
water. Oh my
right?
God, hydration is so important.
So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Marisol Fernandez. And then we also have our title sponsor in the studio, Celeste Zupancic. She's a realtor with HomeSmart PB and Associates. She can be reached at 209-489-7312, or you can email her at Celeste at sellsyourhomes, all plural, sellsyourhomes.com. So I was going to say, I wish one thing I wish I was able to get into studio, and I did not reach out to him, but was St. Luke's Family Practice. We've had them on as a guest before, and they're not a practice that really believes in insurance. So what they do is if people can't afford health care, it's free. Or they have the paying part. And we've had them on before, so I wish I would have had them back on.
Oh yeah, they would have been awesome. They follow me on Instagram, and I'm always loving what they do.
Yeah.
They're always liking my stuff too. That's cool.
Okay, well that's good to hear. So, really quick, not to end on a bad note, but I had a friend of mine had a heart attack recently, and so I know I joke around with you all the time about my health, and I probably shouldn't, but but he had a pretty bad heart attack, and he actually passed away 3 different times. Once at home, once in the ambulance, and then once at the hospital in emergency. And they're calling him like a miracle because he's, once they got him stable, like I talked to him like after that whole ordeal, I talked to him that night. And, but it was a reality check for me because, when you, and I really talk you up. And the reason why I talk you up is because you talked me into, you talked me into it. I had no interest in trying to lose weight. I mean, I was happy, like even Lynn Doucet of Sylvan Learning says, "Hey, why is your before picture of you, like you have like a big smile on your face?" And I said, "Well, it's probably because I just had like a milkshake or something." I was just, I was pretty, but I wasn't taking my health seriously. And I just want to thank you for, making me take my health seriously because that scared me last, when that happened. I got a call from his wife and I never heard her distraught like that before.
Yeah, it's really scary. And it's really scary that it takes a major situation like that to kind of shake us up and get us on the right path. But everyone's journey is very different. We don't have to join a gym. I own a gym and I will be the first one to sit in front of a person and listen to what their goals are and their needs. And if I feel that going to the gym is not going to be something they can be consistent, I'm going to tell them, go on Amazon, order a 15-pound vest and go on some walks. Keep your steps over 10,000. It just like Sharon Karen is a specialist to get you the right insurance. I am a nutrition and movement specialist that helps you understand what steps you need to take. I don't just put you in a program. It's really just what first step should you take? It's very overwhelming and it shouldn't be. We should all be healthy and we should be striving to live because there's that saying like, oh, I would die for my children, but would you live for your children? Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing to end on, but you're going to be back with me next week hosting when we're going to have Celeste and it's just going to be the 3 of us so we can kind of cover more into that. So. Awesome. All right, so thank you for tuning in each week. We look forward to having you back next week. Heartfelt shout out to our dedicated producer, Mike Murray, and the general manager of KCBP, Jim Costello, for their invaluable contributions to our show. We also appreciate the hard work of our intern, Tiffany Alex, who is actually not here this week because her mom just had surgery today, but she'll be working still. And Kurt Gonzalez from Lightspeed Graphics, Video, and Animation for capturing and inspiring our guests and their stories. If you're seeking assistance with digital marketing, don't hesitate to reach out to Kurt at 209-617-2606 or via email at kurt@lightspeedgraphics.com. Thank you, Marisol, for joining me today, and thank you, Celeste, for joining me today also. And then we have Celeste Zupancic in the studio. She can be reached at 209-489-7312, or you can email her at celeste@sellsyourhomes.com. Remember to join us every Saturday as we dive into the minds of local small business owners for even more insightful discussions. And a special thanks to our guest, Sharon Kerr of Health Markets, for sharing her expertise with us. Now, let's take care of business.